Live from WTVO Rockford and your home team. Eyewitness News at 6 starts now.
Some Stellantis plants will see layoffs in the future, all because of one state. The rule in place that's causing the change. Local children scoured Target for the coveted items on their Christmas lists. It's a time that both the kids and officers enjoy. And a leadership conference is working with the next generation, how these future leaders are preparing to make a difference. Good evening, I'm Taylor Castro. Thanks for joining us tonight. A major auto company says layoffs will have to come next year, partially because of one state's regulations. Stellantis says it may lay off more than 3,600 workers that make various Jeeps next year, in part because of California's emissions standards. The company says cuts will come at Detroit and Toledo, Ohio plants, and necessary shift changes from the new UAW labor agreement will also cause job losses. A report says Stellantis complained of retaliation in the form of higher greenhouse gas emission regulations than competitors after the California Air Resource Board reportedly made deals with Ford, BMW, Honda, and Volkswagen. A new report is calling on the federal government to cancel student loan debt for Americans with an income of less than $71,000. The report was published Friday by the University of California's Student Loan Law Initiative and the Student Borrower Protection Center. On Tuesday, the researchers plan to tell the Education Department's Student Loan Forgiveness Committee to take action to lower many Americans' student debt to income ratios. They also say low credit scores should be looked at along with any outstanding loans. The Biden administration has been looking at ways to forgive student debt since the Supreme Court struck down its initial student loan forgiveness plan. The FDA approves 2 new gene therapies for people 12 and older with severe forms of sickle cell disease, and studies show they're extremely effective. An estimated 100,000 people in the U.S. live with the illness. Patients, doctors, and advocates are celebrating this news. These new gene therapies do come with a steep price tag, can take around a month, and involve chemotherapy. Doctors say until now, the only way to eradicate sickle cell disease was through a bone marrow transplant. And a warning to stay away from some cantaloupe after a salmonella outbreak kills 8 people, 3 in the United States and 5 in Canada. Dozens of illnesses were reported by both countries. 38 states are affected, including Illinois. Many reported eating pre-cut cantaloupe in clamshell packages and trays sold in stores. The list of recalls has grown in the last week. The CDC urges you not to buy, eat, or serve food if you don't know where it originated. It's that time of year again, a season when we're all celebrating the holidays, but those gatherings could help spread respiratory illnesses, including COVID, the flu, and RSV. According to the CDC, RSV hospitalizations are elevated among young children, and the country is seeing an increase in flu and COVID cases. Here's Morgan Norwood with the latest.
Respiratory illnesses are on the rise and increasing in parts of the country. The CDC says 15 states plus New York City are seeing high or very high levels of respiratory illnesses, which is defined as people going to the doctor with symptoms that include fever, cough, and sore throats. RSV hospitalizations remain elevated among children under 4 and are also increasing in adults over 65.
RSV is a virus that causes an inflammation of the upper airway and also leads to a lot of secretions and mucus production.
There is an RSV vaccine that the CDC is recommending for adults over 60 and for pregnant women.
The vaccine can then help them produce antibodies that they can transfer via the placenta to their fetus.
According to the CDC, flu hospitalizations are rising, but the number of new admissions still remains low. The southeast and south central areas of the country reporting the highest level of activity. COVID hospitalizations have reached levels not seen since February, particularly among babies, young children, and older adults, but hospitalizations are still lower than what was seen this time last year. The CDC is tracking a rising COVID subvariant called JN1, which is estimated to be making up more than 20% of the current cases nationwide. But there's no evidence that JN1 is more severe than previous variants, and test vaccines and treatments are still expected to be effective. Health officials recommend everyone get their updated flu and COVID vaccines, as well as RSV shots if they're eligible. And it's not too late, as it often takes up to 2 weeks to reach full protection after a dose, which would be just in time for Christmas and New Year's celebrations.
That was Morgan Norwood reporting. 125 kids in Winnebago County got to do some early Christmas shopping this morning. The Rockford Police Department hosted Shop with a Cop at Target today. Each kid got $100 to spend on items, shopping with the help of an officer. The kids are making memories and have smiles on their faces, but the officers look forward to this event just as much.
I was once a kid in need, so it's really important for me to be able to, in this position, give back and put this event together every year, and that's why it's so, special to me. I have memories like that from when I was a kid, from other organizations and stuff that did a similar thing. And these kids, I want that to make a lasting impact on them.
Next year, they hope to increase the number of kids they serve and the amount of money they are able to spend. Local kids are discovering the leader within themselves. That was the theme of the Youth Leadership Conference hosted by the University of Illinois Extension at Rockford's District 1 Police Station. Kids from 12 to 18 years old learned from local leaders. Our very own Candace King was one of the speakers. This is the first time this conference has been held. Participants learned how to become a confident leader through different activities.
They had different roles they had to play with the games that they did. There was an artist, there was a director. They just had these little pawns and they had to come up with some kind of game together with kids that they had never met before.
Organizers were pleased with the turnout of 30 kids for the inaugural event. Another Israeli missile strike on Gaza. Coming up, why the U.S. is blocking calls for another ceasefire.
And officially, our high temperature will reach the upper 40s today, although that was shortly after midnight. Much cooler for the afternoon, and we're going to stick with that chill for a few days longer. I'll let you know how long that chill sticks around, though, coming up in just a few minutes.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team, with Taylor Castro, Reagan Holgate, and meteorologist Jordan Wolf.
President Biden's approval rating hits a new low. A new poll conducted by the Wall Street Journal finds only 37% of surveyed voters approve of Biden's performance. 61% see the president's overall image in an unfavorable light, and 53% say they have been hurt by his agenda. Surveyed voters expressing concerns about Biden's age and the economy despite surging gross domestic product this summer, moderating inflation, and a record low unemployment rate. A federal judge is prohibiting the separation of families at the southern border for the next 8 years. This comes after families crossing the U.S.-Mexico border in 2017 and 18 were illegally separated. In June of 2018, the judge ordered an end to the Trump-era policy meant to deter illegal border crossings. 2 months ago, a court settlement was approved between the Justice Department and families represented by the ACLU. Under that settlement, a ban on separations will be in place until December of 2031. As the Israel-Hamas war enters its third month, dramatic images show the aftermath of the latest Israel airstrike on Gaza. According to the Hamas-run health ministry, the death toll in Gaza has surpassed 17,500. On Friday, the U.S. blocking a UN Security Council draft resolution that would have demanded an immediate humanitarian ceasefire and the unconditional release of hostages. Inez de la Cutera has more from Tel Aviv.
Dramatic images out of Gaza show the aftermath of an Israeli missile strike in Khan Yunis, as Israel says it is looking to eradicate Hamas strongholds in the city. Casualties streaming into this hospital in the southern city. Injured children being treated on the hospital's floor as the U.S. presses Israel to do more to protect civilian lives.
It remains imperative that Israel put a premium on civilian protection. And there does remain a gap between exactly what I said when I was there, the intent to protect civilians, and the actual results that we're seeing on the ground.
This as the U.S. used its veto to block a UN Security Council resolution calling for another ceasefire in Gaza.
We do not support this resolution's call for an unsustainable ceasefire that will only plant the seeds for the next war.
The UN's World Food Program warning half of the population in Gaza is starving.
The humanitarian operation is collapsing.
The Yemeni armed forces says all ships bound for Israel will be stopped from passing through the Red Sea and become a legitimate target until more aid is delivered to Gaza on them. On Saturday, amid the ongoing war, news of the death of another Israeli hostage, Sahar Barouk. It comes after Israeli officials say IDF soldiers raided a Hamas hideout where hostages were still being held. They did not rescue any hostages in the operation. Meanwhile, Hanukkah celebrations taking on added meaning this year. In Kibbutz Be'eri, where at least 89 residents were killed in the October 7th Hamas attack and at least 27 are still being held hostage, survivors coming together to mark the 8-day Jewish festival that celebrates the triumph of light over darkness. People we've been speaking to telling us this is the saddest Hanukkah in the history of Israel.
That was Inez de la Cutera reporting from Tel Aviv. After coming within a few degrees of a record high yesterday, it was a breezy and cooler day today. Jordan tells us when we could see a return to some warmer weather coming up.
Now, your first warned weather forecast from meteorologist Jordan Wolf.
It was a bit of a busy overnight last night with some of the rain that we had moving through the area, even a few rumbles of thunder downstate with some of these stronger cells. All of this rain pushing through as a low pressure system passed through the area almost directly overhead. Now that that system is off to our northeast, that is also leading to the now chillier and windier conditions that we have had throughout the day today. Even a few pockets of snow flurries with some of the colder air that's being wrapped in behind this system have been existing, especially across portions of eastern Iowa and across southwestern Wisconsin. There is a very small chance that we could see a couple of flurries passing through the area later on into the night tonight, but not any accumulation is expected as we are still seeing a lot of that warmer air near the surface, with those surface temperatures still well above freezing. We are above freezing with our air temperatures as well, 37 right now in Rockford, but we see where that colder air is getting drawn in. That colder air going to stick with us for a few days. And right now we are seeing temperatures significantly cooler than where they were at this time yesterday by a margin of around 10 to 15 degrees in some spots, 13 degrees cooler in Rockford than where we were just this time yesterday. 37 is where we currently sit right now in Rockford, DeKalb, Rochelle, Sterling, and Freeport. 39 in Janesville. Overcast skies across the area, but currently no precipitation falling from the sky, according to those observation points. Our weather watcher Terry out in Genoa is reporting a temperature of 38 degrees, a dew point of 31. Winds out of the south around 14 miles per hour, and just over a half of an inch of precipitation from the rain that we had overnight into the early hours of this morning. Those overcast skies sticking with us across the entire state line tonight. A little bit of a chillier picture, also slightly breezy. Those winds going to ease through the rest of the evening and overnight hours tonight, though. Still could gust close to 25 miles per hour. Temperatures falling back down into the upper 20s in a few spots underneath these overcast skies. Cloud cover actually keeping us a little bit warmer than they otherwise would be if we did not have any of that cloud cover in place. We only warm to 33 degrees tomorrow, around 10 degrees cooler than the afternoon was today. Some clearing may work in toward the later part of the afternoon, which may end up giving a boost in those temperatures very slightly toward the hours of sunset, but not looking super likely for that. Futurecast does show the increasing cloud cover staying with us through the rest of the overnight hours tonight, holding temperatures fairly well in place. This does clear out the cloud cover before sunset, which may allow that quick boost in temperatures. I think the cloud cover does hold on just a little bit longer towards sunset, but clear skies the following night, leading to a little bit more of a chillier picture. And the chillier picture also going to kind of remain the case with some higher pressures that are going to be passing through the area. In particular, Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, a very strong high pressure sitting directly overhead may lead to some of those cooler temperatures before moving out and warming us up toward the end of the week. 33, 36, 35, and 38 for the next 3 days in a row. A couple of those overnight lows down in the 20s and even in the low 20s Tuesday night, but we do warm back up into the mid 40s toward the end of the week.
Thanks, Jordan. Reagan's in next with sports. The Illini were trying to make it 2 straight wins against top 25 ranked opponents today. Plus a battle in some local boys hoops. Highlights from both are coming up after the break.
Now sports with Reagan Holgate.
A top 20 men's basketball matchup played out down in Knoxville today between Illinois and Tennessee. Brad Underwood and his Fighting Illini trying to play spoiler down there. Closing minute of the first half, Illinois down 1. Luke Goody is good for 3 from the wing. Illini will take a 2-point lead into the half. Now let's go into the second. Coleman Hawkins misses the 3. Santiago Vescovi grabs the board, then goes coast to coast to dump it off to Jemima Shack for the layup. What a finish there. A few minutes later, Illini down 12. Terrence Shannon Jr. driving, then dishes to Quincy Guerrier for the slam. A season-high 22 points today for Guerrier. Now in the final minutes of regulation, Shannon takes it to the rack for the bucket and the foul. He had 22 but struggled from deep, going 1 for 6. Tennessee held off the Illini to win 86-79. In some local boys hoops, the Byron Tigers were home for a non-conference matchup against Newman Catholic Central. Carson Boozer driving here for the Tigers. His attempt is no good, but Kai Aiken is there for the putback. Here goes Boozer again, weaving through defenders. He's up and off the glass for 2. Into the second quarter now, Ryan Tucker makes a move into the paint, gets the bucket and the foul. Here goes Tucker again, this time from the corner, and he drains the 3. He led the team with 28 points today. Newman's Evan Bushman will throw up the same from the other end of the court. Then it's Kaysen Newton with the rebound and 2 more for the Tigers. It was a battle in the first half, but Byron pulls away to win 63-43. And after days of speculation, the two-way star Shohei Ohtani finally announced where he's headed, and it's not that far, actually. He'll be playing for his former team's crosstown rival, the Los Angeles Dodgers. He agreed to a record 10-year contract worth $700 million. Yes, that's $70 million a season. The contract is the largest in North American sports history. The Dodgers were always the favorites, but the Cubs and Blue Jays were in the group of finalists trying to woo the two-time MVP. In an Instagram post today, Ohtani pledged to continue to strive forward not only for the Dodgers, but the baseball world until the last day of his playing career. And the Blackhawks are back in action tonight, hosting St. Louis at the UC. Both teams looking to improve on a so far rocky season. The Hawks only have 3 wins in their last 10 games and are currently last in the Central Division. But they're coming off an impressive win over the Ducks on Thursday that snapped a 4-game skid. And it should be more of the same against a Blues team that allows over 3 goals a game.
I think positioning is going to be great for these guys. That's going to be the name of the game tonight for our defense with the size, and use that to our advantage to just really take away all the time and space that St. Louis is going to try and look for. And I think most of the guys tonight are physical guys, and I think we want them to be miserable to play against.
The Hawks will put that physicality on display here soon. Puck drop is set for 7 p.m. And the Ice Hogs have another date with San Diego tonight, hoping for a better result than last night's 7-0 shutout. This one also gets underway here soon at 7. Also want to give you a look at the score from the D3 Football Championship semifinals today. Quite a few of our local guys suiting up in this one for North Central, and the Cardinals are moving on to the championship game after a 34-27 win over Wartburg. That's sports. We'll be right back.
First one, interactive radar showing a few flurries, but otherwise clear skies tonight. Temperatures down into the 30s for the next few days, following up into the 40s toward the end of the week.
Thanks, Jordan, and thank you for joining us.